Some of y'all wanted a face reveal, even though I literally post my face on my Instagram, which you should go follow, I guess. But you all had some questions for me. I'm here to give some answers on probably the only not music-related video on the channel, so let's have some fun. The best anthem, in my opinion, definitely has to be Kazakhstan. It's classic. And no, I'm not going to play the Borat one because the real one goes way harder than the Borat one. You've got to admit. You've got to admit. There's no way you can deny that. The Battle Cry of Freedom or the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Honestly, Battle Cry of Freedom, hands down, there is no match. No match for it. It is good, it is solid. Both of them are great marches, especially Battle Hymn of the Republic when performed as a march and not a slow and solemn lullaby, but Battle Cry of Freedom, best out of those two. My favorite march, I'm going to give like a top 3 because it's really, really hard to choose just one. When you've uploaded over 1,000 videos like I have, and you have 1,000,000 more to go, it's really hard to pick just one. So if I had to pick my top 3, I would say in no particular order, this is in no order, I would say the Stars and Stripes Forever, Favotire, and Song of the Korean People's Army. Yeah, we got 3 whole different ideologies going on here, whatever, it just marches. All those are probably my top favorites. And I'm gonna add on, since someone asked about favorite Vietnamese march or Vietnamese song, it is not one that I've done on the channel yet, but it's something along, and I'll put the title here, and I'll play it so you can hear it, but it's like When Spring Comes in Vietnam or something like that. Something along those lines, When Spring Comes in Vietnam. If you've ever watched The Amazing Race, it's in The Amazing Race too, fun fact. And then they call it like the people are walking around with hammer and sickle flags and the star flag, and the contestants in the show are like, wow, this is just like One Direction.
Vietnam vinh quang, ánh sáng soi đường đưa ta về chiến thắng.
It's like One Direction.
Where do I find my videos and pictures? Majority of it is just from Google. I just Google up whatever in its native language or a language which is widely used there. So someone asked about Victory Day, so I'm just gonna use that as an example. For like the Kazakh Victory Day, you can use Google Translate and translate stuff into Kazakh. You'll get some results. But if you use Russian, you will get a whole slew of results. You will find Russian websites that post hundreds of thousands of pictures, maybe not thousands, but hundreds of pictures of victory parades in whatever location you put in. You could put Kazakhstan Victory Parade, South Ossetia Victory Parade, whatever it may be. You can just put that in Russian and you will find all these different Russian news sites and photography sites that have pictures and or video of the parade. So that's pretty much just what I do. YouTube, Google Images. That's it. Sometimes, very rarely, I use Bilibili, which is the Chinese Chinese-owned version of YouTube. So sometimes if I want to find a lot of Chinese stuff, or there's a few Russian things, a few like Kazakh and Mongolian things that weren't really on YouTube, but most of the time it's just Chinese. And a lot of the time it's all on YouTube anyways. I'll give one example. The Defend Hong Kong version in Mandarin. That was not on YouTube. I had to find that on Bilibili. I don't know if it is on YouTube or not. I just couldn't find it on YouTube. I found it on Bilibili months prior, so I just use that. So that's one example of finding and using songs from Bilibili. Despite me having a lot of military content on this channel, I'm not really into guns or anything. ADD break! As you can see here, we have some InGen supporters. There's some YouTube guidelines violators. What do we do about that here on Danjori? We use a Century Arms Vishka to take care of that. Now you may be saying, Danjori, isn't that heresy? An American-made AK-47, and I say, who cares? It's an AK-47. So let's show these InGen supporters and YouTube's guidelines violators what we're made of. Eliminating InGen's cute and yummies in 3, 2, 1. Woohoo! Put that back on safe. I don't need to become a YouTube gun tuber who gets striked. Let's see here. What kind of damage have we done to these horrible people? Well, some of them have survived. A few of them not so much. YouTube does not take very kindly to guidelines violators, so we'll have to show them what we are made of. I think that taught them a lesson, but just in case. I think that showed them. How do I upload daily? This is one that people have been asking for a long time. How do I upload daily? As one of the few, if not the only, marching YouTubers that has uploaded daily for 3 years straight, besides the times that YouTube has smacked me across the face, thrown me down on the ground. I post every day, and that's not easy. But I do binge editing. I'll just answer straightly, I do binge editing. So right now, at the point of recording this video, and it may change when I edit and put the picture on the editor, but I have like 210 songs right now. So I try to keep the number above 200. So that's 6.5, 7 months of content that I constantly keep in there. I constantly keep refilling. And I try to keep at least 2 or 3 songs in every country's folder. I try to keep 2 or 3 videos in there constantly. So if I upload a US video, I'll make a new US video to replace that. I upload a Bulgaria video, I'll make a new Bulgaria video to replace that. Sometimes I'll make 2 just because I feel like it. So I always try to keep 200 plus videos ready to be uploaded. That way, like I went to Vietnam back in October. That way I don't have to worry about, oh, I'm leaving for Vietnam in a week. I have to upload a month of videos. If I'm going to be gone for all of October in some country, I don't want to have to rush to get those out. I'm just going to upload 30 songs out of the 200 and then slowly work my way to catch up to that 200 number. So, pretty straightforward. What motivates me, not only to upload daily, but just to do the content? Really, it's just finding these rare and underrated songs, because there's a lot of countries that go overlooked. You have countries, Kazakhstan, very few people did Kazakh stuff. Mongolian, very few people did Mongolian stuff. I like to think I sort of started that trend. Wa State, no one even heard of Wa State. Thus you're in Myanmar. No one heard about Wa State before, at least I feel, that I started doing the I Love Wa State, and that spread the news. Oh, there's this military group that somewhat has independence, but it's still part of Myanmar, and they're Chinese. No, I don't feel that many people in the West knew that unless they were really into these groups in Southeast Asia. I don't want to brag, like, that's not what I'm here for, but I'd like to think I bring light to these countries. Just like I uploaded a Bolivian march a couple of weeks ago. Who uploads Bolivian marches? I upload Kenyan marches. In the next theme for New Year, you all voted for South American songs. I'm doing a Trinidad and Tobago patriotic march. Who uploads patriotic songs from Trinidad and Tobago? So my motivation is ultimately just to find and represent these countries. And of course I post popular songs because whoop-de-doo, they're fun. Like, oh, I love Katyusha. Oh, I love the Stars and Stripes Forever. I love Batotai. I have like 10 million versions of Batotai uploaded. But finding these different versions of these songs and underrated and rare songs is really my motivation. Was I expecting to be popular? I still don't expect to be popular. Like, I don't really think I am. Like, it's kind of hard to grasp. Like, here we are at almost 55,000 subscribers, and it's still like, I never expected it. Like, I just started, you can go back to the oldest videos, I just did like mashups of the Soviet March from Red Alert 3. And like other random songs. And I just started by doing songs I liked. I just did it because I wanted to do it. Because, backstory. I had recently quit doing another YouTube channel that I did. I used to do gaming content for almost 10 years on YouTube. I did gameplay. That's where I started. When I was either 12 or 13, I started doing gaming all the way up until I was either 18 or 19, right before I started this channel. Believe it or not. And I still do. Shout out to Retro Dan. Go subscribe to Retro Dan. If you like watching retro games, retro game reviews, check out Retro Dan. Link in the description, link in the I thing up here if YouTube lets me. Anyways, I just quit doing YouTube. I still wanted to do editing because editing is my passion. So I just wanted to keep doing editing. I enjoyed watching these channels, and I'll get to them in another question, the specifics of those channels, but I just wanted to do them. I just wanted to be like them and upload, oh, this is a cool song, I want to put lyrics to that. So that's what I did. That's why the early videos are very basic, because they weren't really made to be entertaining like the new ones are. They were made more just because, oh, I like this song, I'm just gonna put this song. But now I try to add an entertainment factor to it. But anyways, I digress. No, I was not expecting to be popular. Not at all. But I thank you all for that, for getting the channel so far. What if I run out of marches? Lucky for you, that isn't likely to happen. One, because there's a ton of marches out there, and two, because I upload different versions of marches, and I don't know of any other channel that does that. Like I mentioned in another question, I have done 3 or 4 different versions of Batotai. I have done so many versions of the same song, but they're different recordings, different singers, different instruments. Lyric version and instrumental version. By uploading all these different versions, you get to hear a different form of that song that you might not have heard before. One of my favorites is you have like the standard Batotai and you have this instrumental that I found. And a lot of the marches I do, like the Russian one, the Army of My Country, I think is the name of it, did a lyric version and an instrumental version of that, but that wasn't created by the Russian Federation Armed Forces. That was made by a person who just wants to make an army march online and did a fantastic job at it. So even the marches that I upload, they're, you could say, fan-made, but they are made by the people for their country. They're not official, but they're still marches and or patriotic songs. So the chances of running out completely are very slim. Who inspired me? Mainly two channels. Daravolk, which is obvious because I use a lot of inspiration from him, like the eagle for the logo, and Deutsches Vaterland, which is a now gone, banned, deleted, one or the other YouTube channel which uploaded German marches. Those two were my inspiration. I would watch Deutsches Vaterland and Daravolk for hours every day. I'm going to put these two together since they're both kind of like the personal questions. But how old am I and do I have a job? I am 24 at the point of recording this video and uploading it, 24 and a half. That answers that question. Do I have a job? Of course I have a job. I'm 24. I'd hope I have a job. I work at a restaurant, a Chinese restaurant actually, so. Shout out to all you Chinese restaurant enjoyers. Chad restaurant, Chinese enjoyer versus Virgin sushi restaurant enjoyer. My favorite YouTubers. I'm going to give two different selections of answers here because I watch a lot of stuff that isn't military music related. So I'm going to go two different paths here. Music related definitely has to be Norwegian Baron or Daravolk. Those are definitely the top two. Norwegian Baron, Daravolk. The other side, I watch a lot of non-military music channels. So I watch a lot of Brandon Herrera, does gun reviews. Watch a lot of old retro gaming things. Channels like Metal Jesus Rocks, The 8-Bit Guy, Lazy Game Reviews, a lot of stuff like that. Favorite song? I'd have to choose from this album. This is the Turbo album from Judas Priest. Turbo Lover, the title song for this album, is arguably one of my favorite songs. So good, classic speed metal. Like, it goes really hard. As for my favorite musicians, I'm gonna give you all some recommendations. My likes really change depending on what I'm listening to. So if a new song comes out from a band or whatever, and that I'll listen to a lot of that band. I don't really have solid favorites in terms of musicians, Judas Priest obviously being one. These are three other ones I'm going to recommend. Windrose. They don't have their picture in here, but you can tell by the thing there, their shtick is that they're dwarves from Lord of the Rings. So a lot of their stuff has like the sound of metal hammers and smithing and swords and axes and old medieval fantasy war sounds. So they did like the metal cover of Diggy Diggy Hole, if you've heard that. I don't think that's on this album. No, not on this one. But still, really solid album. All their songs are really good. Second one I'm going to recommend, Frozen Crown. Another solid metal band. Their pictures are on the back here. But solid band, really good. Their music goes really hard. And a newer band that I've been listening to, they've been doing this came out in 2022. So 2 years ago at the point of hopefully uploading this, 2022. But they just released their second album just 2 months ago at the point of this uploading. So really solid band, Cobra Spell. They're newer. They are a Dutch band. They have some, I think the drummer is Portuguese, or one of the guitarists is Portuguese. They have a whole mix of people in there, but Dutch is the main band. They sing in English, of course, but it is an all-female band. They've lost and gained members since this album, their debut album. So I would suggest you check out all three of those, Windrose, Frozen Crown, and Cobra Spell, of course. I'd say this is probably my most favorite right now. just between this album and the newest one that they have, which I'm not going to show because it is a little more risque, but I definitely suggest checking these out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little Q&A video. Happy New Year to everyone. It's just hit midnight at the time of this being uploaded. So happy 2024. Let's see how many strikes I can get this year. So thank y'all for watching. Eliminating engines, cute and yummies. You know, best part coming cheap. It's taking 5 million years to load your ammo.